Hi. This little video is going to be about basically the toolkit for the semester for EDUC 439 639 social networking. So during the semester we're going to use a lot of Web 2.0 tools, and so our toolbox is going to be pretty extensive, and basically we're going to decide that there's going to be a bunch of tools that are going to be very public and others that are going to be very private. So depending on the nature of the activities that we're going to do in with those tools, um, then we're going to choose different tools throughout the semester. So on the public side, we're going to be using first of all social bookmarking. So if you've never heard of social bookmarking, some of the sites that we're going to be using are called we're going to be using Diigo, which is a social bookmarking site that also allows to create different other things like web slides and lists and groups. So in our case, we're going to be using a Diigo group for this semester. And the other tool that we're going to use on that side in terms of social bookmarking is Pinterest. So, and Pinterest is a little bit more, I would say, it's not as robust or as scalable, but it is a fun tool to use that is fairly easy to understand. So basically, I'm going to be sharing a couple of boards with you on Pinterest. So Diigo, so this is our Diigo group. You see that if you go on this side, I see invite people, but on this side here, you're actually going to see request access. So you can actually click on that button and request access to the group. Once you have access to the group, you can actually use one of the tools like this Diigo LED, the Diigo Web Highlighter, and then you can bookmark directly from your web browser. So that's pretty easy to use. The other one we're going to use is Pinterest. So I've created a couple of boards for you already. The Wall of Fame, Web 2.0 and social media tools, endangered practices, digital storytelling, and there's also lessons learned, dangers, and etc. So I'm going to be sharing those boards with you so that you can actually pin whatever you find, and so Pinterest is going to be more of a visual way of keeping track of what we're actually discovering. So, so those were the two social bookmarking tools that we're mostly going to use during the semester. Then there's also social media at the bottom here. So we're going to be using, I would say primarily, we're going to be using Google Plus for this semester. And one of the reasons why I think Google Plus is a really good one is because of all the other features that come with Google Plus, like the Hangouts. So basically, I created a page for Google Plus that you can just follow, and then we can have all our events there. So if you look at Google Plus, so you can follow the page that's called UDSNF12, and then you can share to that feed, and when there's events or whatever, we're gonna have access to that common space on Google Plus. And Google Plus is really good for fostering conversations and stuff like that. Then in terms of social media, we're also going to be using Twitter. And on Twitter, we're basically going to be following the hashtag UDSN F12. So UDSN, University of Delaware Social Networking Fall 12. That's why I use that hashtag. And I also looked before I checked to see if anything else was already using that hashtag, so that it would be unique, and I didn't find anybody else. I was looking at different variations, but this is the one that I found that was the most appropriate. So you can search for that specific tag. You can use tools like for instance TweetDeck, and just save that search so that you can have access to the information in real time. So that's pretty convenient. So that's pretty much what it is. We might use Facebook. We might look at other tools depending on what the interests of the group are. But for now, that's what I have in mind. Now, if we look a little bit further down in terms of, semi-private tools. So Google Groups is going to be our mailing list type of deal. So instead of using discussion forums or something like that, we're actually going to be using Google Groups. The advantage of using something like Google Groups is actually that it's something that you can replicate yourself. You can create a Google group with your students and decide on how private you want it or public you want it. You can also have different types of Google groups. You can have something that looks more like a kind of a question and answer board or a discussion forum, or you can have something that's clearly a mailing list. So in our case, basically, you'll see that the information about a Google group is actually on the course gateway, and then on the semi-private section, there's also cloud storage. So in the cloud storage category, we're going to be talking about Google Docs and also like Dropbox.com. And those types of services, basically, where you can have something that's very private and that's synced across devices. Google Docs also supports Google Drive now, which is pretty much the same thing as Dropbox.com. So that's kind of the idea. Adding those spaces for storing files in the cloud, so that if you ever lose a device or whatever, you switch a device, you still have access to your stuff. That's the strategy for the cloud storage. So sometimes some of these things are going to become public, some of these things are going to stay private and just shared with one person or two or whatever. Then on the other end of the spectrum, you're going to have the LMS, which is, in our case, it's going to be Canvas at UD. And in Canvas, we're mostly going to have the assignments. So every week you're going to have to post there's going to be a blog post or something like that, or an activity or whatever, something to submit. Canvas is going to be the place where you're going to do that. Grades are going to be, just shared privately with you in Canvas, and the feedback given for everything that's graded. Just so that space needs to be protected because of FERPA. I want to make sure that whatever is related to your grade is actually protected in the learning management system. And the other thing is email. So really, if you send me an email at mathieu@udel.edu, then really it's a private conversation between you and me as a student to instructor. So this is basically the whole idea. I'm trying as much as possible to keep most of the conversations. I would like to keep more in this sphere, so that everybody has access to it and everybody can actually contribute and see what's happening. I want to make sure that the thought processes of everybody in this class is made public as much as possible, because I think that the reflections and the conversations, this is where learning is going to happen and learning is going to be demonstrated. So as much as possible, I'd like to keep a lot of the course, the constructs, the artifacts that are going to be built throughout the course. I would like to keep on that left-hand side. So that's pretty much it for this video. The one last thing is that I'm going to add a couple of instructions related to I just need your accounts. Basically, I need to make sure that I can give you access to I need you to sign up for Diigo. So so right here you need to request an invite, and then for Pinterest you're gonna have to give me your URL for Pinterest, the URL of your account. Google Groups, I'm gonna invite you so that's fine. And same thing with Google, with the Google Docs and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. So I'm going to need some more information from you guys and some more so that you have access to all the different spaces that I've set up for you. So thank you.